just bleed. Summer Park are fighting for you and me. Patients need what the doctor has said. Safe access now to the meds they bred. One love, one fight, don't you delay. Rights for the people in every way. We stand tall, we won't back down. Safe access is the anthem sound. Safe access is the anthem sound. The struggle is real, but so is the fire. For health and hope we climb higher. Stand with the ones who can't stand alone. For every voice deserves a throne. Compassion leads where the laws resist. A healer's heart can't coexist with barriers blocking what we deserve. The people's needs must be preserved. One love, one fight, don't you delay. Rights for the people in every way. We stand tall, we won't back down. Safe access is the anthem sound.
This production is brought to you by DHBN, WTHC Radio, and Stoner Records.
Hello. Welcome back to our weekly Patients for Safe Access podcast. And I'm already going to start choking up. I do this every time I get live. But anyways, happy Father's Day to all of you out there today, whether or not you are spending today with your kiddos or not, just know that somebody out there loves you because you're a dad, right?
Right on. A father or a dad, right on. There you go.
Right. Now, I'll be honest, not to get sad right away, but I don't have my dad to celebrate that with any longer. But I'm super blessed with a lot of the older men in my life, including like old school.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Who continue to mentor me on even in those moments. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Right on.
Today's message, though, and I chuckled for a second there, but man, it is not a light message to talk about, really.
It is hard to talk about.
It is hard to talk about. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about sex trafficking. And so, to all of you dads out there that don't know where your daughter's at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so...
I'm already going to get choked up.
I know, it gets your emotions so easy because we learned about it, everyone hears about it a lot, but unless you've known somebody that's actually been through this, that's their life every day. Whenever they get snatched up or kidnapped or whatever happens to them, or they tell them they're going to have a job in this industry and they get them out, like some, from another country or something. They tell them they're going to have a job in the industry, something like this, and they get them up here and take their passport from them or whatever and get them up here and they get them in the industry and they cannot get out. And that's the only job they can have because they don't speak English, or they're limited, high school, no high school. That's the only job they can have. I've seen it. I've used to work areas where there was a lot of sex traffickers. And I understand.
How many grows have we been on in this state where you think in the moment, oh, okay, everybody's taken care of here. They're provided for. They're being treated right? But the opportunity is not theirs. Like they're there against their will.
Sometimes it is. You see in this industry, we've seen a lot of people be exploited.
Absolutely.
They think they're going to get in this industry and they're going to make some money, and it turns out it's not that way. And some people that we've seen, a lot of people from out of state come in, and they're thinking they're making a lot of money here, and they find out they're not because this Oklahoma is different from all the other states, really.
Absolutely. And it's not even like a race-specific situation either. I've seen situations in the state involved in agriculture and other industries where, many people have been trafficked of all ethnicities, of all races. We have the sex industry workers, that get, sex trafficked. We have the minor children, that are being trafficked.
See, that's what
like
kills
that.
me is the minor children. Good grief, they're running these children's entire lives doing this.
Absolutely.
I will come down on you like a ton of bricks. I'll guarantee you if I find
We'll
that.
come down on you like the feds come down on Diddy, bro.
There you go, right on, right on.
Like,
No half stepping on that stuff, I guarantee you.
I've got a new friend over here that's going to be joining us for our
We're gonna be,
second part,
yeah,
right?
we are gonna be having
And,
another friend jump up there.
And
Cool.
he's got some pretty good assets for investigative services and stuff like that. So, I guess what I would say right now in the moment is that if you're watching this and you're a dad that doesn't know where your daughter is, or an uncle that doesn't know where their niece is, or grandpa doesn't know where their granddaughter is, or it doesn't even have to be a female. If it's somebody
No,
else that's been
there you go,
trafficked,
because
you know what I
you
mean?
never
It could
know
be
in this
anyone.
industry anymore, because
Like,
it can be young males, it could be middle or older males, you
Mhm.
never know. Just because it comes down to a lot of times they get in this industry, the sex trafficking industry, because of addiction.
Mhm.
Heroin, fentanyl, meth, just whatever it is, and it's hard for them to get out. That's what.
But by the end of this podcast, we're going to have resources for you.
Right on, I dig that. Okay, who am I
Right?
got? Okay, hi Cynthia and hi
We're going to have some
Dawn.
resources.
Okay, right on.
So,
Yeah, that's what they need to find is the resources. Now, if I try to go up and try to talk to them and stuff, that's one thing that's not gonna happen. They're gonna think I'm a fed, that's all there's to it.
or a weirdo.
They're gonna think I'm a trick, I'll guarantee you, they're gonna think I'm a trick.
Right.
But so that's why we are trying to get people to work together, and we're trying to get people to help us to get people out of this industry.
And this guy that we're going to be bringing on, his name is Kevin Stuart, and he has the Kevin Stuart Foundation.
Right
We're
on.
going to be speaking with him after our break. And
Hey, man.
he has
Gotcha.
been involved actively in writing
Nice, man.
legislation to help people that have been trafficked or families of trafficking victims. So lots of tons of resources. He's got counseling resources, reiteration resources, to help you just cope with society and everyday life once you've come out of that type of a situation.
Yes, a lot of times they have a young child or a couple children. They're just trying to provide for their family, and that's why they've got to take that first step. If you know somebody that's in the sex industry, or if they want to get out of the sex trafficking industry, you can contact us really, and we will put you.
Kevin Stuart Foundation.
That's what I was going to say.
dot
We'll put you in touch with the
org.
Kevin Stuart Foundation.org, right?
Yep, .org.
Okay, cool.
.org.
We're also going to try to put a hyperlink on our pages too for the Kevin Stuart
And
Foundation.
then Stuart is Stewart.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to make
He's
sure.
right
everybody
here.
knows. So he is right here. He is right here, and I'm glad he's right here.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
one of the farms that I had been on, and I relate this to cannabis because that's what Patients for Safe Access,
Right.
started with, was cannabis, medical cannabis. But one of the farms that I had been on is out in the J area, I'll say.
Right.
And when I turned down that road, like literally there was hoop houses for as far as the eye could see in 180 degrees. And I legitimately thought everybody was like in a happy type
Oh, yeah,
environment,
yeah.
like everybody had like RVs
Mhm.
and, everybody had their, like little areas and what they were responsible for and stuff like that. And now looking back on that, and that was like 5-6 years ago,
Right.
okay? But now looking back on that, I just, really have to sit here and think about that and wonder were all of those people here of their own free will.
I know, as you see, I go back to my hometown of Chickasha,
Mhm.
and I see that houses are abandoned and boarded up and things like that. And I wonder because I was there during the oil boom, when they were making money in Chickasha. And now there's so many abandoned houses. We were working for us. Get Oklahoma back to where it was. That's what
Right.
we're trying to do that. And one thing with this sex trafficking, we do know that they do use a lot of the roads in Oklahoma, like I-35 and I-40,
Mhm.
and all the feeder roads, all the back roads, now.
Backroads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
backwood roads, that's where they get a lot of people in. Cool.
He's giving us
He goes
that.
right on, yeah,
He's
backwood.
like the
Now, see,
backroads.
some of our people know a lot about the back roads, don't we?
Right, they do,
We
they
put
do.
on a lot, so yeah, we understand what's like how to avoid the five O's, I call them,
Or in Oklahoma City, we have what we call OB&DD Circle,
Yeah,
which is like whenever you're coming in off of the Tulsa Side Turnpike into OKC going south. and they're like almost always sitting right there.
Oh, yeah, I know
Law
what you mean.
enforcement will be in, somebody's sitting there every time. And you know, I mean, they speaking of the agencies involved do catch, you know, quite a bit of this stuff, but obviously there's so much of it going on that they have no way to wrap their minuscule allowed.
Well,
you know,
that's one thing that got us going with this,
flavor
because we
references.
checked, and there's not a task force involved with this.
There's
So
not.
that's, you know, to really get down and start getting into the
Right.
nitty gritty on this, they need a task force. Again, we will take the heat. I will put you right towards the Kevin
Right.
Stuart Foundation right on. If you need help, we will get you help. Okay, who else I got? I don't have my glasses, I'm sorry.
Cracking me up, y'all. I go here reading a
See,
screen.
it should turn the words, you know, this way.
Uh,
But it used to, do I need to turn my phone the other way or something? I don't know,
Yeah.
silly
I don't know what
computers.
it's doing for you.
I know computers.
Sean McCoy, hi, how are you? He's online saying.
Oh,
hi.
hey, how you doing there?
If you know someone that is being trafficked or has been trafficked, you know, and needs the resources that we'll be talking about, when Kevin comes on, you know, he's going to share with us, yes, there's a story because there's someone else's, you know, account of the things, but there's someone's truth, you know what I mean? They're not a story, there's someone's truth that's being shared and passed along with you. And I'll just give you guys trigger warnings now. If this subject matter is something that might offend you, might upset you, you might not want to join us for the second part of the break, because this is going to get very raw and this is going to get very real. And we are going to talk about this.
That's one of those deals. It doesn't offend me, because if this is affecting a child's life, it will affect their entire life. Because I would dot your I in a second if you're doing that to a child of one of my friends. You know, this cannot go on in my opinion. We've got to
Absolutely.
stop this. It's got to come to the surface.
Absolutely, absolutely it does. So, you know, changing legislation is a huge part of that.
Right on?
And we've got to get involved. Kevin Stuart Foundation was pushing some legislation this year that I'm hoping he'll touch on whenever he comes and joins us.
Right?
That particular legislation did not go through. However, forward motion is
Yep.
always going, even if at a snail's pace. So some of the language will have to probably be changed and modified, and it'll
Right.
get pushed back in there and put through again, because, you know, changing these things to provide safe options, you know, for these women, children, men, and others, you know, individuals, just human beings, period.
Humans, yeah,
being
that's it.
trafficked. You know, offering them options, solutions, and ways out of it is the best thing that we can do for them.
Right on. You know, my heart, you know, that my emotions, we know they're right at the top anymore.
Mine are too.
And I know, what can I say? And this is just one of those, just, yes, I understand, you know, because those people, you know, I'm from the streets basically. And, you know, I've talked with people that have been involved with this. You know, they've been my friends. And yeah, some of them can get out of it and some of them can't get out of it.
You know, my dad that raised me, my bonus dad, speaking of dads, okay, the one that raised me, he was a truck driver.
Right?
And, you know, back in that day, everybody called the girls at the parking lots lot lizards.
Lot lizards, you
okay?
bet, yeah.
And I remember, you know, hearing about lot lizards and growing up knowing what a lot lizard was and stuff like that. But man, to grow up and actually think about that human being, that girl, that guy, whomever, and just the,
Yeah, to put yourself in that situation, that you got to stand out there every night, no matter what the weather is.
being forced into that situation.
That, yeah,
Not
forced
put
into
yourself
that
in
situation, you know.
Forced into
You have no money, you know, you have nothing. You're standing out there, you got to turn tricks.
Yep.
You got to give your money to some dude just as soon as you get it, you know, because he's watching you too, to make sure that you're not doing anything.
And you're going to be on meager ramen noodle diet and, you know, pallet on the floor lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible, this, I can't even fathom, I can't tell you guys the extremities of how
Being
this
controlled
goes.
with drugs, because that's what they can do, heroin, you know, fentanyl, whatever. They can control you with that drug because your body will crave that so much, you know, if they withhold it from you. So yeah, they got a leash on you like you have no
Control,
idea.
absolute control.
Total
Complete mind
control, yeah.
screwer. Yep, absolutely it is. So, with that, man, you guys know, like I said, this is going to get steep, it's going to get deep, it's going to get raw, and it's going to get real. So if you're not in it to win it and you can't take the idea of listening to this, tune out for about 45 minutes and we'll catch you next week. Otherwise, guys, we would love for you to stick around. Tell us your stories of someone
Oh,
that
yeah,
you know
right
has
on.
been affected. share that person's face, share that person's name, and get them the support that they need. So
Okay, you're gonna take a break on your
We're gonna
channel.
take a break
I'm
on
gonna
my
go ahead
channel.
and post the video on my channel. I
We'll
will
be
come back later on because I wanna go take a break, you know me. See, we're not in a smoking situation right now.
right.
Right.
Every single day, 22 veterans take their own lives. Yesterday it happened, it'll happen again today and tomorrow, unless we do something. Operation Heal is on a mission to stop the pain, the death, and the heartbreak through the only thing that has actually worked for PTSD and chronic pain, cannabis. For far too many of our heroes, healing isn't an option. They're stuck in illegal states, living on a salary of $1,700 a month or less, denied natural medicine by the VA and force-fed pills instead. That's where Operation Heal comes in. Since 2023, they've built a nationwide underground network of cannabis caregivers and connections, getting veterans the plant medicine they need at zero cost when money's tight. Now they're going even bigger. Vetstock is coming, a powerful event where veterans will come together to convert a school bus into a home for a fellow vet who sleeps on the streets every night. You can sign up for canna cooking classes, grab some awesome merch, and make a donation that directly saves lives. Go to Operation Heal, HEEL, and click to help our vets, to get involved and help us bring plant healing to those who fought for us. This is for the people, by the people. No red tape, no politics, just action. Because the government hasn't just abandoned our vets, they've abandoned all of us. Operation Heal. We don't stop until they stop dying. Join the movement. Donate, share, and heal.
Step Big Studio. Hello, my name is Rich Regal, and we just legalized marijuana in the great state of Ohio, and I figured why not write a song to that beautiful plant. I'm looking for the light, just wanna get high, so high, and my mouth is so damn dry, 'cause I'm high as the sky, so high, and I'm looking for the light, just wanna get high, so high, I'm high. Grab the papers in the bong, it don't matter what you're smoking on, just keep it rolling like we Cheech and Chong, We just sit back, light one up and pass it all around, all Zaza in my roll-up, yeah, we ain't never smoking brown, pack of gummies in my mouth, I ain't never coming down, trying to get so damn high that I can never touch the ground. And we do it like this, no seeds, no sticks, boogie over there, lighting up another damn spliff, so I grab it on up and put it to my lips like this. I'm looking for the light, just wanna get high, so high, and my mouth is so damn dry, 'cause I'm high as the sky, so
I was running for my seat, bro. Running for my seat. I forgot we did a short song this time because we usually do a song called Bankrupt Again. Charles, my notebook is over there.
Okay.
I think the song. Let me see the name of it real quick. That way I can share with everybody.
We
I had it
can
written
just
down.
get back just in
We
time.
can
Notes
literally
are over
do-
there, all kinds of stuff.
Okay, that song was by Rich Regal, and it was called "I Just Want to Get High." So thank you, Rich Regal, for that song.
Cool, well,
So, and now we're going to invite Mr. Kevin Stuart over here to join us. And when we
right on, right on. Brother, welcome aboard. Right on. Good to see you. Good to see
Thank you
you.
for joining us, Kevin.
Thank you.
For sure. So, before we went to break, he warned me that he was going to make me cry. So I went and got a box of tissues. I'm ready for my issues. So, Kevin, enough laughter about it. I'd love to hear you kind of tell us about the Kevin Stuart Foundation and, the stories that brought you to doing what you're doing.
The Kevin Stuart Foundation. I've been a private detective for over 24 years.
Okay.
I retired just because I got tired of doing a bunch of crap. I mean, not helping people. I mean, helping people, but not the right people.
Right.
Right.
And it just started bringing a toll on me. Then I started getting referrals from attorneys, a lot of attorneys, with 19 families, and started the Kevin Stuart Foundation. Wanted to help the individual that has been trafficked and the child that has been trafficked, trying to figure out a way to reintegrate them back into society.
Right on.
There's, I've looked at every program that Oklahoma has,
Mhm.
as far as nonprofits.
All right.
They're good programs, don't get me wrong. But there's a piece of it that didn't sit well with me. And I talked to people about this, and it's the integration part. They don't know how to live.
No.
Everybody's telling them what to do, how to do it, when to do it.
Mhm.
They're still on drugs.
Mhm.
If they're not on illegal drugs, they're on legal drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
Might as well be on drugs.
You are. If you're on legal drugs, you're on drugs.
Yeah,
It
you're on
doesn't matter.
drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs.
It's a leash that they can keep on you because you can only get so far away because you've only got like a 30-day prescription. So if you want to go on a trip to Alaska or something like that, if it's pain pills, too bad, so sad, you need to try to set it up where you can get them refilled in Alaska, and that's going to be a hassle.
Yeah, it will be.
We can pull his back
You
a
know,
little bit.
I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, on the treatment side of it, the counseling is great. The psychiatry part is great. But the catch-up is this.
Right.
It's repeated.
The recidivism, of the drugs,
Repetitive. It's repetitive.
Mhm.
You have to go back to see your psychiatrist. You have to go see back your counselor, this and that, everything else. And it's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out a way how to break that cycle. That's the integration part. I have programs that I have put together
Mhm.
that actually work to integrate an individual back into society if they want to get married,
Right.
if they want to get a job, if they want to even start their own business,
Right on.
they can do it. And they won't have not one doubt in their mind.
You'll succeed.
They will succeed.
There you go.
Because I
Yeah.
will make them stronger than ever. Because, when somebody takes somebody, they might as well just took their life.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
They might as well. They might as well kill them.
Mhm.
But they did. They did something more heinous. They kept them alive.
Right. Yeah. To be used.
To be used.
To be used and abused.
You see? So the Kevin Stuart Foundation has a plan that what we're wanting to do, what we're going to be doing, is we're going to build a high-tech facility outside Oklahoma City just to do that.
Okay, right on.
To help the individual, to help that child reintegrate back into society. But I need the Oklahoma people behind
We
me.
need help. You're right on.
We need help.
Yes.
But
Now, I have checked out, now, down here at the Verge,
Yep.
I have checked it out, and you just said a high-speed connection. Okay, this is just 2 blocks from the Murrah bombing.
yes,
So when that happened, I was down there at that, and the thing that impressed me so much was the glass was everywhere. So this building was rebuilt right after the Murrah bombing, and all the old phone cable that was in the back, because I happen to work for that company, has been replaced with fiber optic. I looked. So this building is fed with fiber optic. You got zip O's and ones just as fast as you need them down here.
Squirrel.
So I can go off on a rabbit hole like that. Yeah.
Well, I think we must have needed the belly buster, because like we said before the break, this is going to be a serious conversation, and I mean, trigger warning again for those of you tuning in after the break. This subject matter in this is going to be talking about human trafficking, sex trafficking, what these victims have been through, resources to help them. So if that doesn't suit your taste at the moment, go ahead, tune out. We'll see you next week. And if so, stay tuned because I think we can all help.
hey, that'd be wonderful.
So,
Okay, are we out?
no.
Okay, so, dude,
Give me a trigger warning ahead of time is all.
Okay.
If not, some people will be like Karen down. Oh my God, I can't believe they're talking about this on there.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
bro,
it
I
happens.
told you. You know what I mean? So that's the main
Well, that's one thing we do talk about is subjects that don't usually come up. Like I said, we talk about the suffering silent, the people that are in their houses, that can't get out. We try to get the word out to them what's going on. And this is exactly, a lot of them know about this and what's going on, and they see it and they want to help, but they don't know how.
Well, whenever you see a human a trafficker busted, it's all over the news.
Oh, yeah.
But what you don't see
where the victims
is
go.
where the victims go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I understand, privacy.
Right.
I understand, security and everything. But it's just one of the things that, they say a lot of people got, one person, these 2 people,
Mhm.
children, that's it, no names.
Right.
Which I can understand, which is awesome.
Right.
Protect them, yeah.
Protect them. Protect the victim and stuff.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You're a former private investigator, and that's one thing we do not give up resources.
Oh, no.
We do not give up anybody's name. You
That's
got
right.
old school's word on that. We ain't gonna give it up.
You got summer program
Right on.
patients for safe access right here. If you need to get in connection with somebody to get you those resources, all of us will do that.
And we can bring some resources to bear to try to help. Like I said, Kevin Stuart Foundation, we can just rock with that.
So I know you just mentioned the new building that you're interested in doing and getting that going. So currently, your online website, which is the Kevin Stuart Foundation.org, has a lot of resource points on there, but there's also a donate link.
Yes.
And it is very important to donate to this cause. If you would like to, you can go there to his website and click that donate link. You also said you have a GoFundMe.
Yes, I have a GoFundMe. I can find it here.
I think we posted that a couple times, but I'll go ahead and post it again. You bet.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's just right here.
So let me see what his GoFundMe is linked to there. So it's under Supporting Trafficking Victims Recovery Journey, the Kevin Stuart Foundation, if you want to donate through GoFundMe instead of through the website. Okay?
Now, we are going to be out and about talking to people about the Kevin Stuart
We
Foundation.
are, because I know we kind of keep all over the place at the moment, but legislation, you've had some legislation moving forward this year
Oh, yeah.
that did not move forward all the way, which we got canceled too on ours. Did yours succeed?
well-
Keep going, tell me.
Well,
So
okay.
before this.
okay. I went to my representative. His name is Representative Kevin West.
Okay.
Told him that I have a solution. The Oklahoma people have a solution.
There you go.
I don't want to say I have a solution.
Mhm,
This is going to keep the Oklahoma people safe.
mhm.
There you go.
We have a solution, to keep Oklahoma people and to help the victim get the help that they need and the child victim get the help that they need.
Mhm.
He said, wonderful. He gave me the bill. I asked him for the human trafficking bill.
Yeah,
He gave me the human trafficking bill.
right on. There you go. Cool. There you
So-
go. Cool.
So it took me over 250 to 300 hours to build this bill.
Right.
Wow.
And I took it to him. And he put it in. I'm not going to tell you what happened.
There's a lot of political
there's a
stuff
lot
that
of
happens.
bull that
Yeah.
happened.
The sausage.
But you know, we got it put back in, and everything was good. And it hit the first committee, passed with flying colors.
Right.
Hit the second committee, passed with flying colors. Hit the third committee, passed with flying colors.
Cool.
I knew that the topic of human trafficking is a very, very hot topic.
Mhm.
Nobody, I don't care who they are, they will not vote against it.
Right.
There is no way, if they do, they're
If they're in the
pro-trafficking.
right
Yeah,
mind.
that's political suicide.
That's
You bet.
political suicide. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Human moral suicide, like a dumbass.
Then it goes to the representative floor, House of Representatives floor.
Right.
And a couple of representatives were asking questions, which it was proper on that, and it passed, 88 to nothing, 88 yeas
That's incredible.
and no nays.
And
Whenever that happened, I made a meeting with Representative Kevin West, and he sat there, and we sit there talking about it and everything. I said, "Wow, that's awesome!" Yeah. He said, "Yeah, there's trying to put an inside joke on me."
Right.
And I said, "What's the inside joke?" He said, "Yeah, they've saying something about pimping. They just want me to say pimping because in this bill,
Right.
okay, the way that the Oklahoma people, I'm going to say the Oklahoma people again, put it to you, is in the first beginning of it, is they have to register as a registered sex offender with the state of Oklahoma.
Mhm.
Get this. Whenever they get busted as a trafficker, they're a sex offender.
Really?
Yes.
I
I've
did
never
not know
known that they had to register, but I've never known.
But
to
get
register.
this. It doesn't say nothing about registration.
Really?
Nothing.
So they're a sex offender, but not required to register.
That's
Y'all
how
hear
I'm
that?
taking it. That's how I'm taking it.
So it's different than if like they molested a child and were a sex
Right,
offender.
right.
They have to tell all the neighbors
They
that they're a sex
They
offender.
have to register.
But if you were a
Oh,
pimp
then
and
trafficking.
busted for sex trafficking, you don't have to tell your neighbors.
They don't have to register.
They don't have to register. That's even easier. Yeah.
This is what the research that I've done.
Right.
I
Don't
mean,
take it as gospel.
people from high places
Right, look at
has
it.
told me this, but they didn't say registration. The only thing they said was whenever they get busted, they're a sex offender automatically.
Right.
Okay? It's okay, cool. The second label, there's two labelings on this. The second label, they have to register with the federal government as a human trafficker.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that myself and Representative Kevin West put it in this bill is that DOC gets them. They put them in a registration list.
Right.
It funnels it all the way down to the FBI. Whenever the FBI gets it, guess where it goes? It goes to every single county in Oklahoma, anywhere that they go,
Oh, okay.
anywhere,
Okay.
anywhere
Yeah.
they will be
Tracked.
tracked. That's the second one.
Solution.
Two labels.
Right.
The other one, we had, I believe, 5 to 20. It's the first offense. Second offense, 15 to 99. That's what the sex trafficking. That's what somebody trafficking a child.
That is what it is for trafficking a
That's
child?
what it is, trafficking a child.
Okay,
Just do it
good.
alone.
But not now.
Oh, not now.
Not now. So that was in House Bill 1215. That's the bill that I put together.
Right.
House Bill 1215. Then, from there, you had pimping. Pimping covers every strip club, pawn nude bar, and massage bars.
Oh, yeah.
It covers every one of them.
I've worked in areas like that. I worked in not in massage bars, but I worked on their equipment and stuff. I worked on their phones, not their equipment, but I worked on their phones and stuff. And you see in there, the houses, the massage bars, you see what's going on. It's not stupid. Good grief. Whenever they're giving directions how to get there, their phone is constantly ringing, you know what's going on.
And there's so many different ways to be human trafficked.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I don't know that unless you've been through something, know somebody's been through something, been there, you've heard the stories and truths of others, your brain doesn't really kind of open up to all the different ways this can be going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about that earlier. And, you just mentioned about massage parlors, okay? And then I want to bring up like nail salons and stuff like that. And then, obviously there's the sex trafficking side of it where people are trafficked in for sex work. What are some of the other ways, like farming? We know farming is a huge way for human trafficking, like John and I were talking about earlier.
Work labor, that's another thing.
Everything work related
Mhm.
in trafficking, sex trafficking, regardless of what it looks like. Okay,
Mhm.
it's trafficking,
Mhm.
regardless.
Mhm.
And this is what this bill is going to do. What was going to do, or it will still do.
Right, we don't give up.
No, we don't.
It's that right when that happens, they have to submit to that legislation right there.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, the crime, it fits.
Right.
It
Oh,
fits
yeah,
it.
definitely, yeah.
So in other words, law enforcement would have to enforce it because it would be changed and the definitions would be much clearer.
Well, I mean, it's like, okay, let me put it another way. Let's say you and your family go to a massive event. Say you put a massive event together.
Mhm.
Has tons of kids at a park.
Mhm.
Okay? Tons. Then your people are sitting out just watching, sitting, and say, they see one car, one van, or an SUV. Blacked out windows, mud on the tag a little bit, just moving over here, waiting there for about an hour or two, moving over here, maybe an hour or two, moving over here, getting closer and stuff. Then you call law enforcement.
Mhm.
Says, hey, we have a vehicle out here. Nobody's ever got out of the car.
Mhm.
They're pulling up, stopping, moving to different areas, 4 or 5 different areas. And that's very, very concerning to me. Could you have a police car come out here and check them out?
Yep.
Mhm.
You know what they think?
We don't have the officers for that.
No. There's
Yeah.
no probable cause.
No problem.
That's it. Yeah.
There's no probable cause. With this bill,
That would become.
there will be probable cause.
See
Okay,
there?
I dig that.
And then, the reason why is because you're looking at 2 labelings. Who likes to be labeled?
Mhm.
Nobody in today's society.
Nobody. This is, and people ask me, I had somebody ask me, she asked me, and it was at the Capitol, actually. I'm not going to say any names on this one.
Mhm.
She asked me, she says, why do you want that? They already served their time. I said, what have they, okay, and then she said that.
Yeah.
Then I said to her, really?
Yeah, really.
In the back of my mind, I'm saying, what have they done to other people?
That's
Right.
it. That child or that person will serve that time the rest
Right.
of their life.
Like I said to the senator's representative, a couple of them, and representatives and senators. I asked them, I said, okay, do you want blood on your hands? And they asked me, no. How can you get blood on your hands? I said, well, if you get hanging, public shooting, the other, heinous thing and stuff, and you put that into law, which people are wanting now, you're going to have blood on your hands.
Well, yeah, I do that.
But with this bill, you won't.
Cool.
People will be safe. The Oklahoma people will be safe. This law, I call it the Oklahoma push law.
Okay.
It will push out every single in-house trafficker
Mm-hmm.
in the state of Oklahoma.
Now, when you're saying in-house, do I
In-house.
take that the way I take that? Y'all hear that? Y'all
Yeah.
hear that shit? You're paying attention, guys. There's some people in them seats that need to get the frick out.
And this is one of those deals that once we get put on Sick'em, on looking at this, we're going.
Sick 'em.
I'm sitting on Sick'em all the time, man. You know how I am.
Right? Mm.
I want to be an advocate for the Oklahoma people on this. But there's one thing. I need the Oklahoma people behind me.
Right.
I need them to have a voice. Their voice is my voice. My voice is their voice.
Right
Your
on.
voice is my
Right on.
voice.
Second that.
And it's not like, well, I did this, I did that. No. I gave a solution. That solution is now the Oklahoma people's solution.
Right on. Like I've said for a long time, it's not a me movement, it's a we movement.
Right,
Once
yeah,
we get
100%.
involved or we get together, we can do anything.
Right. Absolutely. So,
You see, I mean, there's so much that's involved in this. It's nuts.
Yeah,
I can't imagine like all of the things that you have that is in your mind all day long that people have shared to you personally through their experiences. And that's got to be a lot of what drives you to do this.
Well, I had, like I said, I had 19 families that I talked to. And I could have took their money,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. Because it takes $2 million to work one case.
Oh, Lord.
wow.
One case. And there's not one family that will have $2 million unless they're really rich.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And
It's
they
not
will
gonna
do
happen.
anything, any parent would do anything to find their child.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I know this, and everybody else knows
Mhm.
this.
right. I've seen it, I've seen the shows, it just amazes me how easy they can snatch a child. I can't believe it.
Mhm.
I mean, it's every 30, every 30 seconds.
Yeah,
And you would think that like in today's time with like things like traffic cams, ring cameras, all of these things going on with all these cameras in the world today, video TV, everything we're doing, that it would be like easier to find these folks and stop them, but it's not.
Okay, here's how this works, okay? Everybody's talking about I-35, I-40,
Mhm.
I-235,
Mhm.
which I understand. I understand that 100%. Oklahoma's ranked 5th in the country on human trafficking.
Yes, sir, we
Really?
are.
Wow.
5th.
Mhm.
And the rest of them are border states.
Mhm.
The reason why is if you look at the map, how many small towns are linked up to the border?
Right.
A lot.
State line, a
Mhm.
lot. How many small towns?
Right.
You got back roads, you got dirt roads, you got everything that a trafficker can need. Right
For
there.
country miles.
For country miles that lead
Nobody's
into
Mhm.
a highway.
Mhm.
You see,
And if,
nobody's ever thinking like that.
and drug dealers know how to do it.
Well-
You've got a scout car,
Oh, yeah.
you got a car carrying the people or the product, whatever you got, you get a van. And that's how you do it. A couple miles ahead, hey, here's a cop, you radio them. Give them a warning, yeah.
Then you got small towns called tagging. Heck, they're tagging in the mall parking lot. A tag, what it is that the tag is a circle
Mhm.
and it has their initials in it. Okay?
Mhm.
Spray painted on the tire, or they put permanent marker on your windshield, the bottom corner of your driver's side window. Anywhere that somebody can, they will tell them where it's at.
Right?
That's the person that they're going after.
To track them into.
To go get them
Yeah, that's what I say.
To go
They're setting them
traffic
up to
them.
get them
Yeah.
kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
To traffic them.
and stuff.
Guys,
I
pay
mean,
attention to those
these-
signs.
This is bad.
It really is, because I've seen the deals where they say how deadly fentanyl is, and they could set that up, on your car door or anything. I'm not saying anything that people don't know. Set up on your car door, or you just put it on your fingers and you pass out and they got you.
Or better yet, I talked to somebody and they called me it was her niece. She came from Texas and she went into a small town because she didn't want to do toll roads.
Mhm.
I can understand that. She's by herself though. She stops in a small town. Next thing you know, she comes out. She has this little circle with an initial in it. And she goes back into the store. She calls her aunt. Her aunt's one of my really good friends. And she calls me.
Mhm.
I said, send the picture to me. She sends it to me. And I said, where's she at? She said, well, she's in the store. It's okay. Tell her to call her dad, her brother, whoever, to get over there where she's at now.
Mhm.
Call law enforcement
Mhm.
if need be. Get them over there now. And she said, why? I said, that's a tag. She said, what do you mean a tag? I said, that's a tag that somebody's about to snatch her.
Right.
She's been marked.
Been marked.
It's so dangerous being by yourself. A
Everybody.
woman, or you're being by yourself, out somewhere.
Everybody. I've talked to women that go walking.
Right? Walking, jogging,
They don't do it no more by themselves.
Mhm.
with their headphones on.
Yeah, they don't do it no more.
Oh, yeah.
They don't do it no more.
You've got to
They're
always be
scared.
aware of your surroundings. Yeah.
I had families. I went to almost every county in Oklahoma. I had families come up to my booth. I was handing out identification kits with swabs
Uh-huh.
and giving free toys out to kids
Heck yeah.
Right?
and stuff. And I had families come up to me and they asked me specifically, is it safe for myself and my child to play in the backyard? I said, do you have a gun?
That's it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. Unless you know how to use your weapon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And she said, you kidding me? I said, no. That's how bold they are.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has the most weakest laws at the time, they're rampant in here. They're running rampant and law enforcement don't know what to do with it.
Right. So I got a friend that had some people come around her house doing some stuff. She's got several children. They've got a firearm. They need to get training. That's what I always say. You need that training. And we need to set up, again, comes back to women. Sometimes they don't feel comfortable around men.
Go
Get a female instructor.
Right.
Go to H&H. H&H is the best place to go.
H&H, I've been to
and
H&H
get
numerous times.
your
Yeah.
concealed carry firearm.
If you're in Tulsa, go to 2A.
Perfect.
And again, Oklahoma, we've got constitutional carry. H&H can teach you how to handle your firearm, but you don't have to get a concealed carry permit in
Because we
Oklahoma
are
to carry
open
a firearm.
carry. We are open carry in the state.
Again,
Not to promote H&H, but H&H is awesome.
right. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I can't give legal advice, and neither can Ron Durbin. You knew that was coming.
I did
Hey,
that.
I guess we just did a plug.
Right, I don't
Plug
mind
in.
plugs.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, it happens,
Somebody from H&H is watching this.
right, show us 2A, 2A,
Yeah.
2A.
What, do you know
We need advertising money, by the way, that wasn't free.
right? Do you know the owner?
No, sir.
Okay, I had a friend that knew the owner, went to school with him. And the reason he started H&H Gun Range is because him and his wife went to another gun range, and he went to use the bathroom, and there was a bullet hole above men's. He said, okay, I don't need to be in this place.
No.
If they're that bad a shot, no, you don't need to be in that place, that's for sure.
Right. Kevin, you were mentioning ID kits, and that brought me back to something. I'm a mom myself, and my children are now adults. But when my children were younger, we went to the state fair one time, and they had the ID me kits, or ID kits, whatever they were called then. And it had the swab to be able to do a DNA swab, and it had the fingerprint pieces to be able to fingerprint your child and all of that, and like what to do with it, where to keep it, you know. And it's like, I encourage families to do that because you might actually
everybody that I have come across, they're scared. What they're scared of, a database. They don't want that in a database.
Right.
I understand that fully.
Yeah, trust me, I do.
I understand that. My professional opinion is, whenever you do get your identification kit, in the swab, in the picture, and all the information that's in that kit, put it in your safe.
Yep, hold on to it until you need
Put
it.
it into your safety deposit box.
Yep.
Put it in somewhere that you can get to if your child goes missing.
Right.
The reason why is because if it's in a database, you know how long it takes them to get that? A week.
Yeah. It's not like on TV, is
No.
it?
It takes a week to get all that information on that one individual or that child. Whenever you have it, that detective gets it right then.
Oh, really? Cool.
There's no legal thing about it. You just hand it to them, and they will thank you for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's more information for them to help you.
Right.
And stuff.
Time is of the essence in
is
those
of the
moments.
essence.
Oh, yeah,
Yes. I think we were right there with each other on that. Like, there is no time to waste
No,
in
there
those
is.
moments.
No, there isn't.
So being able to give them that information and give them as many pieces to the puzzle as possible so that they can connect the dots and go help find that person's loved one is just like critical.
Yeah.
Some of the people that you've helped in this path have had some pretty horrendous things happen to them though, and that's been you've got to be such an empath soul to be able to take all of that and hear what they have to say about their journeys and to be able to stick to it, and to see them through the other end of things to where they're healing and they're recovered and they're integrated back into society as, functional adults.
The way I look at it is I call it my hat. Whenever I go to work, I turn it this way, it's time to work.
Right.
Well, actually, no, turn it this way, it's stop. Turn it backwards, it's on.
Game on.
And whenever I talk to them and everything, I sympathize with them because, people, they get scared talking to them actually because they're like, and they don't want to talk about it that much.
Right.
It's like I was telling you about that 19 families and 3 families really got to me.
Yes.
This is the reason why I did it. It's because I went and talked to, I denied every one of these families. They had money. And the last third of the family, it was a lady. Her family was at the house. She told me everything about the child. She told me where the child went missing. The father, I believe, or the grandfather was sitting there talking. And he asked me, he says, how much, we have this amount. How much is this going to cost us? We will pay it. I said, you don't have it. I said, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. I don't want to break you.
Right.
I don't want to put you on the streets because that's what will happen. That's what's happening now.
Yeah.
Other investigators are taking these cases, saying that they're an expert, taking these cases, taking their money, running through their money, and getting it on a retainer.
We've seen that with, you're saying with investigators, we've seen that happen with lawyers for sure, running through people's money, ripping them off. And so we're a lot of people familiar with that. It's very,
I mean, this is the exploitation side of it. I saw families in their van, a family in their van, you know, in a car wash parking lot, underneath the car wash, abandoned car wash, looking for their child. You see, whenever I talk to that family, this lady, she just fell right in front of me and says, "Why can't you help us? Why won't you take our money?"
right.
I said, "I'm sorry, I can't.
I don't see you like that.
I can't. I cannot. You know, I sympathize with you. If you need some information, I can give you some information. But as far as myself going out there and looking and using all the resources that I have, it takes a lot of money to do."
Yep.
I have turned down, like I said, 19 families. That's the first one. Well, not the first one, but right at the end of it. The next family calls, dad calls me, well, the father, and asked me to come in. I said, "Okay, where did you find me?" Well, an attorney referred me. I said, "Who's the attorney?" And I told every attorney, "Don't say your name. I don't want to know." And he said, "Well, I said he didn't want you to tell me."
Right.
I said, "Okay." I said, "What's going on?" "Well, my daughter, my child's missing." So how old? 6 years old. I said, "Okay. How, male or female?" "Male." I said, "Okay, I'll come in and talk to you. I'm not going to guarantee anything. I'm not going to talk to you."
Right.
And I went and talked to them. They did the same thing. Told me about the child, their do's and don'ts, their likes, what they played with, what toy they played with, where they played with, what school they went to, their friends, the whole thing. And they even said, "We have $500,000. And I'm like, "That's not enough." They said, "Well, how much is the case?" I said, "Well, it's too many dollars." They said, "There's no way that we can raise that much money." I said, "No, and that's the reason why I'm not taking your case." Stood up, turned around. The mother was standing right here. She didn't say hardly anything. She didn't say nothing. She walks in front of me and drops to the floor and actually goes out of her mind.
I bet.
She went crazy. Family's trying to get her to and stuff and everything. And I said, "I've got to go. I can't see this." I got my car and I left. That bothered me.
Yeah. I understand.
The last one. And this is what really, I have a hard time talking about this, is that there's a father that called me, and he said he hired an investigator. I don't want to say the amount that he said. It's a lot of money. He said that he was highly recommended, and we need you. That's okay. 7 meeting next week. 3 days later, he calls me back. He said, "Well, we have to cancel our meeting." I said, "Oh, why? Did you find a daughter?" "No. No, didn't find a daughter." I said, "What happened?" "My wife hung herself
Oh my gosh.
in the bathroom, and she had a note in her pocket." This shouldn't happen.
Yeah, no, it should.
And I'm sitting here, and it made me feel dirty. I mean, it made me feel like I was taking advantage of him, even though I wasn't taking any money from him.
Right.
And that's when I retired. Well, I went home. I mean, prayed about it, never prayed, never said God, never said anything. And got counsel from a friend of mine. And he finally told me, Kevin, what are you good at? I said, I'm good at finding people. I'm good at finding solutions for major problems. He said, think about it. You should start a nonprofit. But how can I start a nonprofit? And that's when I was sitting there thinking about it and thought about it and said, okay, you got human trafficking over here. You got exploitation over here. These two entities are fighting against each other. What is the solution? How can I fix these two solutions? And I started thinking about it. A couple of days later, I'm thinking about it more. I'm like, well, duh, put them together. Let's find out if they are trafficked.
Right.
And let's find out if they're not. You see, in putting two programs together, I know how to find people dead or alive. I can watch it. The human trafficking, how can I help them? Then I started thinking about the people that I was in contact with at these events. And they're like, they can't socialize. Their family is talking for them. They're standing right there.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like doing this.
So traumatized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, reintegration. And you know how to do that. You've done it so many times.
Right.
You already have I already have a program put together to reintegrate anybody back into society and actually give their life back to them, not completely, but give their life that they want, me
Right,
back.
yeah. There you go, yeah. Help them get towards the goal that they're looking for.
Right.
Not just get through the day, get through the rest of your life.
Right through the rest of their life. Whenever they go through this program, and I mean, they will be strong. They won't have no man pushing them around, or
Or woman or
or
whoever.
women, they will not.
Right.
They would feel so strong. It would more, it will make me feel that if somebody went through that program and they come up to me and say, hey, I'm getting married, I really want you to be at my wedding. Or I'm having a child, if they can have children.
Right.
That's a traumatic thing. Their family.
Cool.
Anybody that's involved in this foundation is family. Your family.
Right on. Yeah, we got a large family, real large family. Yeah.
You see, anybody that helps the Kevin Stuart Foundation. It's not about me. I want the Oklahoma people to put me out of a job.
Right.
I want them to do that.
You hear that, guys? Put him out of work, man. Please
I want you to put me out of a job.
take care of this.
But same here. I want to just be sitting on the side of the bank fishing for bass or something. I don't want to have to be going up to the Capitol. Yeah, right on. I don't have to be going up to the Capitol arguing with all this stuff and everything. No, I want to just take care of it and get on.
Yeah. I mean, with the legislation bill, it passed the House of Representatives, went to the Senate. I had to push it a little bit in the Senate. Then, whenever it hit that, and it passed flying colors.
Right.
It went. It's
Ours
supposed to
did
go.
too.
It was supposed to go onto the Senate floor,
Mhm.
Right.
but
They tabled it.
they tabled it.
Hey, at least you got tabling. Ours got stricken altogether. Our cause did.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally stricken.
It was more or less, they hid a bill for me
Mhm.
until I found out.
Mhm.
Both senator and representative knew about it.
Right, oh, yeah, yeah.
They
But
can't
no
tell
need
me
to tell
that
you,
They
right?
didn't tell me. They don't have to tell me they didn't know.
No, they don't.
They knew.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Why didn't they tell me? I
Right,
could have worked with them to make a stronger bill.
Right?
there you go. That's all
Right?
that's
I
all I
agree.
keep saying, work with us, you bet.
And that's what I told Representative Kevin West.
Right,
Senator Bergstrom, that note's for you. I'd love to write a stronger bill about the pesticides that you struck off the floor.
mhm.
You know, I might not be their friend, but it's just the catch of this is that,
Right,
what's right's right. What I think is right is to keep the Oklahoma people safe.
Absolutely.
that's it, yeah.
That's us.
That's
We're all
us,
about
yeah.
keeping people safe.
Just keep them
period.
safe. Keep they don't have to worry about, is though some boy coming out of the dark coming and get my child.
Right.
Or a woman go walking, or, do I have to have somebody with me, or do I have to carry a firearm just to keep myself safe?
Mhm.
That shouldn't have to happen that way.
No,
No, not at all.
I mean, our future are the kids.
exactly.
We
yeah.
have to take care of them kids.
Mhm.
Yes, we do.
Regardless if they're not mine, or
They're
not
all
yours.
ours.
They're all ours.
Yeah.
Right,
They're our future.
Mhm.
And if we don't take care of that, who is?
that's it, who will?
Who will?
So since the legislation, will there be another legislation
Oh,
piece coming
yeah.
forward this next year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna keep us in tune on what's going on with that and how we can support that.
Oh, I'll
from our
definitely,
side as well, right?
will, because I need all the Oklahoma people behind me on this. Because whenever this bill hits, it's gonna shake that house up.
Good.
It shook the house up.
It should be shook up,
Well,
yeah.
it shook the house whenever I put that bill in first,
Mhm.
this first time. They didn't think I was for real.
Right.
Now they do.
Now they know who you are.
Now they know who I am.
Oh, there you go,
And they
yeah.
know who I know.
Mhm,
They know I know the Oklahoma people.
Right on.
mhm.
And that's it. Once you know the people, once you know the voters, like we just say, everybody up there at the Capitol, they're a temp job. Our voters are in a permanent job. We're gonna be here for a long time.
We're gonna be here for a long
Yep.
time, that's right.
But the catch of this is this. The Kevin Stuart Foundation, the treatment center, is the solution to help these individuals.
To help, good.
To help them. There's no doubt in my mind, no doubt, the reintegration, job training, counseling, housing.
I was gonna say, will the facility be like an in-house facility?
It'd be an in-house
Okay.
facility. It's a 2-year plan,
Okay,
year and a half, 2-year plan.
Right.
If they have already been through detox and they've been already through that, it'd be a year and a half.
And it doesn't matter if the drugs are on,
It
right?
does not matter what drug they're on.
You've got programs set up.
Yeah.
Because we all
and the
know
doctors.
there's
And the
different
doctors.
levels of addiction, and drugs are different levels. The drugs are harder to get off of.
Now from these days,
Meth,
yeah.
meth has a great recidivity of people going back to meth. I understand, I've done meth. I know, I don't like it, but I know why people go back to meth, because it is so addictive.
Yeah. I mean, these individuals that are victims, they didn't choose.
Right.
No.
To
See,
be
they
on
didn't
this
see,
drug.
we made a choice,
They
they
did
didn't
not
choose.
choose to be on this
Right.
drug.
Again, that comes back, if you get people hooked and addicted to something that they don't want to be on, even whenever they want to be off of it, they need help to get off of it, because you can sit there and withhold that drug for so long and then give it to them, and they're so thankful to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing I'm learning from you, is in this conversation is that it's about human rights, period. And there's a lot of like civil unrest in our country right now about human rights and stuff. And we hear about the Oklahoma Standard when you're talking about meeting the Oklahoma people. We hear often about the Oklahoma Standard. And sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, right. Okay, sure. But no, really, I want to say that once again, I'm proud to be an Oklahoman in today's time, actually, for this current moment at least, because the protest and stuff actually came by this building yesterday.
Mhm.
Okay, the No Kings protest here in OKC, and it came right by this building. And once again, whether it was Terrence Crutcher, it was George Floyd, or whatever the scenario, the situation be, the trauma that compounded to need a protest, we in Oklahoma remained peaceful in our protest.
I was really impressed because we were at the Kevin Stuart car show yesterday. We were talking to Kevin. And we were sitting there and they were walking past us. Everyone was so courteous. Whenever it said stop, people would stop and let cars go by. Even the people in the cars, they stopped to let people go across because this one old man was in a walker, was having trouble getting this pickup stopped and let him go across. Didn't honk at him, didn't ask him, got him across, and then people waited till they got their walk again. They went right across. I didn't hear it. We didn't see people walking in the road. They were on the sidewalk. It was for as quick as it was organized, it's very well organized and very peaceful, in my opinion.
And the Oklahoma Standard has nothing to do with our governor.
No.
That's us as people. So,
Right.
Well, it's just, legislation is legislation. And I look at it as, if it's going to keep the Oklahoma people safe, why not?
Absolutely,
Why not? You bet.
Thank you.
Why
do they get the option to strike this shit down and take it out when it's to protect people?
I agree.
Well,
Right on.
Pisses me off.
I can tell you.
Ignorant asses.
Yeah. I know.
But I'm not going to say it because, I don't want them to quote me.
That's one thing about it, getting
Quote
quoted on
this.
stuff, isn't it?
Quote this.
So I mean, it's everything has been traded from the bill, and to the foundation and what the foundation stands for.
Right.
I mean, that foundation stands for family, and if we can't help the Oklahoma people, which is my family,
Right.
what can we do? How can we help some other state? We can't even do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Absolutely.
We can't even keep our people safe, and we're worried about somebody else's state.
No, I'm worried about our people. I'm worried about Okies. I'm worried about our fellow Okies.
I challenge you guys. I really challenge you guys to be aware of where you're at in your surroundings. Yeah. And if you see something, say something.
Oh yeah, that's a great phrase. Yeah.
Do not hesitate. I would rather have the cops come up to me and be like, hey, somebody called us because they think you're doing X, Y, Z, and have to say, no, bro, that's not me. Okay, then not to have the cops called and maybe doing that act, and like say something, see something, say something.
And look at the freedom we got now, because I am not scared to answer the door when the house is full of weed smoke.
No, me either.
I open the door with a joint in my hand, because it is legal now. That is my medicine. So that opens up a lot of freedom to us to talk to other people.
And see,
I can't believe I know Mark Woodward, the head of the OBN.
he's the press guy.
I know he talks to you all the time, though,
He
doesn't
does talk to me all the time. He is not the head of the OBN.
Oh, he's not.
Donnie Anderson
He's
is.
just the press guy. Okay, Mark, you got downgraded. Burn right there.
Well, if you wouldn't have taken so damn long to write that letter that never got wrote, maybe we wouldn't burn you a little bit when we get the opportunity
That's
to.
funny.
So,
No, Mark's a bass fisher too. We need to go fishing with you sometime.
yeah.
No, but having people help get the word out is the key.
That's it.
Absolutely.
And getting out in the public and showing the public, saying, hey, we care.
Mhm.
Because right now the way I see how Oklahoma people feel now,
Right.
and I even told this to a representative. I said, the Oklahoma people feel forgotten.
I would believe that.
They
phrase.
feel forgotten.
Oh, yeah. They're alone, they're either in an apartment or they're alone in a room somewhere, and they're alone with their thoughts all the time. And that's what we talk about vets so much, is they get alone with their thoughts, and their thoughts will get them sometimes going the wrong way.
Well, it's a
Same thing with a PTSD person
Yeah.
who's in their head all the time.
Right.
From trauma like this.
it's a I call it a three-way street.
Okay. Three-way
And
street.
it's like they feel forgotten. The Oklahoma people feel forgotten because you are not taking care of the Oklahoma people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
They feel they don't have a
it's
voice.
right. They're supposed to be our voice.
That's
Have
it,
you
yeah.
ever tried to meet with our governor about your foundation and the issues that you try to advocate and help for? So I'll be interested to see when and if you choose to do that, because we as a group have tried to have meetings with our state's governor multiple times over several serious issues and have been declined or denied that opportunity for over a year now.
Well,
But I'm wondering, and this is the way I'm gonna say this, okay, because it's the way it is. I don't have money backing me. I just have me, you know what I mean? And not that you have money backing you, but you have the foundation behind you, you know what I mean, backing you. And I'm wondering if you'll succeed in getting through that door quicker, because I think you should, one, get through the door with him, to have a meeting with him. I would encourage you to do that.
Right.
But two, where hopefully we can link up as Patients for Safe Access, promoting the Kevin Stuart Foundation, helping you, but also allow us to be able to get into those rooms for our cause as well.
yes, definitely. Because, whenever I put that House Bill 1215 in effect, I was at that Capitol every single day almost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was walking the floors, and trying to get this bill passed.
Yeah.
But it was like, they already had an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
They already knew what they were going to do. Whenever I came in,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't know what they was going to do
Right.
because House Bill 1215 came into effect. Next thing you know, House Bill 1886.
Right, yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, that bill was made right when I put this bill in,
Yeah.
about, a couple weeks after
We
that.
see, we know exactly what you're talking about, because we've been through that, and we talk about support. Okay, if you want to support, and we say, call your congressman, so call your senator, call your representative. If 4 people call, and there's 3 people say, I support this bill, and 1 people, it's 70, they say, we got the statistics.
Mm-hmm.
75% of the people called, 4 people support this bill.
You're right.
Because when we voted on 788 in Norman, we had a couple of wards that only like 3 people voted, but it passed 100% because 3 people voted yes on
And only 3
788.
of them voted. And that's a big deal too. Like, it's not just about voting. Connie and I were talking about this on our podcast, Senator Connie Johnson, I think it was last week. And we were talking about, yes, we need people to gather to vote to make these changes, right?
Mhm.
But once you have voted, you have to be actively involved in following up with, example, like this sex trafficking bill that he's talking about. If you're in support of that bill, you need to be calling your legislators and you need to be letting them know, hey, I'm in support of this cause,
Right.
and because they vote based off of
Yep.
the people that call them and talk to them, and if it's a yes or a no, or the lobbyists that get involved.
The
which is
lobbyists
where
will
the
drive me
money
up a
goes
wall.
into it. So, say something, do something, see
Mhm.
something, say something. right?
Say something, yeah.
Say something, do something.
Yes.
Uh,
He's gonna be professional, but I can be like, get off your toes, damn it. Do
I'm
something.
never professional, you know me.
Right. So, Well, Kevin, we could sit here, we could talk all day about this stuff
Right.
because it affects so many individual people. And again, I just want to plug the Kevin Stuart Foundation on here and make sure that you go to that donate link. If you have the ability to go make a donation to this cause, please do. Become involved. If you'd like to become involved with the Kevin Stuart Foundation and you'd like to become someone who goes up to the Capitol lobbies or helps him with this, reach out. Again, see something, say something.
Right on. We're going to be talking a lot more at the Kevin Stuart Foundation, I'll guarantee you.
We are.
Well, okay, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to see
He's jumping off of
if
his
there's any
live.
questions I need to answer. I got my finger.
So, guys, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you guys staying extra long. Thank you, Hippie, for letting us go over. And again, this is Kevin Stuart Foundation, thekevinstuartfoundation.org. Okay. This is sex trafficking, human trafficking. We all know someone, and if we don't, I'm sure
I love
you know someone. You just haven't heard their story yet. Okay. So good old classic Oklahoma Capitol politics. Austin says, Karen, much love. All right, guys, we are going to be out of
Love
here.
y'all.
We'll catch you next week. Much love, one love, and we will catch you later.
See you later. Cool.
Stepping up strong with a righteous plea. Summer Parker fighting for you and me. Patients need what the doctor has said. Safe access now to the meds they bred. One love, one fight, don't you delay. Rights for the people in every way. We stand tall, we won't back down. Safe access is the anthem sound. Safe access is the anthem sound. The struggle is real, so is the fire for health and hope. We climb higher, stand with the ones who can't stand alone. For every voice deserves a throne. Compassion leads where the laws resist. A healer's heart can't coexist with barriers blocking what we deserve. The people's needs must be preserved. One love, one fight, don't you delay. Rights for the people.